Go, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
There
do
we go.
it.
We're live. There it is.
Oh,
My bad.
oh, all right.
Oop.
We were
Hey,
already
hey,
doing
hey,
it.
hey, yeah, we're already doing
What up,
it.
ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen? So we had to reschedule our guest. She came on the show, but wasn't feeling too hot, so we had to reschedule. So we're gonna open this up to a Q&A. Didn't even have time to throw out the last minute guest list.
Secret
but
link.
Yeah, but if you are interested, the link is in the comments. Click on it and join the program. Let's hit it.
Let's do it.
Shut up and sit down.
The Business Bros Podcast was created for you. Learn from the business professionals who come to share their stories. Find out what's working in business, on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of successful entrepreneurs out there doing the real work. And now, welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Monday. It is a Monday for sure.
Shizzle.
I have I got off to a little bit of a weird start. Well, because last night
Did you wake up at 4:30?
I did wake up at 4:30.
Okay.
I did go run. And I came
right.
home to I was gonna take my gap nap, and it turned into a long nap.
Oh, I took a nap today too.
It didn't pan out. I didn't have as productive a morning as I wanted to, but I guess I don't know. Suffer the consequences. It wasn't even like I was doing something super awesome last night. I was watching like another season of 13 Reasons Why while folding laundry. So and then I was like, oh, all right, another one. And I was like, damn, it was almost
13
midnight by the time I
Reasons
went to
Why, huh?
Yeah, well,
I watched the first season of that show, and I thought it was all right. It was cool. All right, brought some discussion around teen suicides and a lot of crazy things that happen in that show. But then like there was a second season. I'm like, is it 13 more reasons, or is it like
an additional 13?
13 for somebody?
Reasons?
I don't know. I was like, I'm over it. It's like
Is it
Final
always
Fantasy.
Why can
It's like-
it be like 13 Reasons How or 13 Steps
Right?
How?
I don't know. It's like Final Fantasy. There's like 14 Final Fantasy games. I'm like, the Final
can't go-
Fantasy should have been the Final Fantasy. I don't understand.
You can't call it Final Fantasy. You have like 50 parts.
I love you, all my nerd friends that still play Final Fantasy games. I love you all. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I'm gonna get my nerd card taken away.
It's okay. We're as nerdy as they come.
Pretty much.
So tell me, you had an interesting day today.
I had a really good morning. I also woke up at 4:30, went for my 3-miler. My phone didn't want to work with me, so I don't know how fast I ran it, but whatever, it's cool. But then what was really exciting was we had our bi-weekly Agent Support Rockstars team meeting this morning.
Oh, okay, that was
So-
a long title. Tell me a little. Break it down.
Agent Support Rockstars.
Okay, but what
That's who we
what do
are.
you mean by agents? Oh, okay.
That's who we are. We're
We
the
as-
Agent Support Rockstars.
We as in the agency are supporting our agents.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got our back office folks. We got Corey, Moralinda, Angel, Jeff, and Gerald.
Mhm.
Right. So basically, the meeting this morning. All right. So this is my third meeting with them. I didn't want to do it like on a weekly basis because I didn't want to take all that time away from the stuff that they're already doing. Trust me, I got them super swamped and super busy. So I made it every 2 weeks. And the last two meetings were kind of bleh. Like they were, all right, let's get together. Let's
They're
talk.
meeting for meeting's sake, but not with purpose and intent
Right.
and emotion and goal.
So
oriented.
Friday, I don't know. I was up late and I was just thinking, and I started just typing out like different things that I wanted to talk about. And I basically accidentally wrote a template for how these meetings are going to go. And it starts
Basically
off.
accidentally.
I totally accidentally did it. I was just thinking of things that I wanted to talk about. I was like, okay, well, I want to make sure that I bring up this particular issue. Like, Corey, what can we support you on? Right? Like, that's the first thing. And then, oh yeah, I want to make sure that I tell these guys that they did a good job on this and this and this and this and this. And then like next thing you know, I wrote up this whole template for how I want the meetings to run.
You mean you prepared?
Yeah. right? Yeah, it's
You
something
didn't
as
have a
simple
meeting
as
for
that.
meeting's sake. You prepared and had, intention.
Exactly, and it started off with, like I said, shout outs and celebrations, like good job, to each person. These are the things that I saw that you did well. And then what was really cool is after I told them what I saw that they did really well, I asked them, what was your biggest win?
Mm.
And it was cool to see the responses and how they were different from the feedback that I was giving them.
What about their biggest struggles?
I didn't ask that.
Hmm.
Didn't ask that. Because after the biggest win is tell me about your current workload, and that's basically the same thing.
Okay,
Like, what are
okay.
you working on right now?
All right. So
So-
you did ask that, just not in that section.
Just not with those words.
Yeah. That's good though. That's good. So they opened up.
Yeah, like and it was just cool to lead a meeting as opposed to, like you said, have a meeting for meeting's sake.
Yeah. That's different, dude. That's cool. I mean, my morning wasn't as productive as I wanted it to be, mainly because, I slept in again after my run, after my morning workout. And that's suffering the consequences of the day before. But I did have a teacher meeting this morning and realigning stuff that we're going to be doing for next semester with things changing. And then I was on 2 podcasts this morning or this afternoon.
Nice.
I was on Marvelous Marketing with
Cool.
Vince Limborn. Right?
Yeah.
So you remember Vince? Vince was on our show.
Yep, the Marvelous Marketing and all of the Marvel references.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember that intro? I know
Yeah, for sure.
One of your favorite ones, yeah.
Yep.
Because you get to Marvel nerd out in that one.
Yep.
So, anyways, Vince and I got to talk about, I normally talk about, the power of podcasting stuff, but what he's doing is very much in the restaurant space. What is that?
Is
Is that your Avengers belt?
That is my Avengers belt.
Okay, you get your nerdum back. You get to be a
I
nerd
get to
again.
redeem my nerd card.
Yeah, nerd card reissued. There you go.
So anyway, so you were on Vince's podcast, and
So I was Vince's podcast. We had fun. I mean, talking about all kinds of different stuff. And it's funny to be able to dig deep and talk about our history, like, where we came from, the biggest mistakes I've made. I make a lot of references to that Monopoly game you see up there.
Yep.
Right there. There you go. Right
There
there.
you go.
There you go. Right there.
Hidden.
So
There.
we talk about Monopoly. We talk a lot about the Kiyosaki cash flow thing. Right there. And how we came to be where we are today. And just being able to share that wisdom, share those hurdles and those triumphs and mostly the failures and the power of what a failure actually is. And I feel like failure has been the theme of today, all the way across my meetings, all the way across my, whether I was having a meeting with teachers or the podcasts in both podcasts today. And for me, that failure sense is one of how school has made failure a bad thing, right? Failure has a very negative connotation, whether you're repeating a class, whether you got an F on a test, whether, those sorts of things. Because when I was talking to my teacher buddies and we were talking about, how we're going to set things up, I was like, we need to make it so that we give the kids an opportunity to fail without failing, to fail with a positive side to it. So most of us understand that when we take a risk, there's a risk of not achieving the goal that we want to achieve, right? I talk about it when I go for a run. You may not achieve your 10-minute mile. Maybe you got it in like 13 minutes or whatever, but you still completed the activity. You completed the task, and you can go back again and try and get better, and go back again and try and get better. And for my students at this point, it's the same type of thing. I want them to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm not understanding this thing, but if I keep going back, I'm going to get better. And when I do finally pass this section, when I do finally get past this hurdle, I know it. I really know it because I failed enough. I've triumphed over such failures that I've learned that concept. And it's the same thing in real life. What up, Mr. Fish Tacos? Fish Tacos. And I was talking about I was talking about Hector today too on the Marvelous Marketing podcast too. how with COVID happening, there were a lot of people who kind of took a back seat and took this as a vacation-ish, a forced vacation that they had to do. But then there's some people that push through these adversities and are not only surviving, they're thriving. They've modified the way they do things so that they're taking advantage not only of online orders that they could do, but now as things ease up and open back up, now they've stayed top of mind with their clients the whole time we've been in COVID. So they've fine-tuned an online operation, and at the same time now can handle people coming in and doing events and stuff like that. So, Hector was one that I was thinking about, how he modified his whole catering business, which was I do events,
right,
to come pick up your dinner. But that was something that he had to do to survive, right? Like to make sure that his business is fully operational. And now that we're beginning to get to the point where we're going to open up again, I don't think he's still at the point where he can open up and do his fish taco Fridays yet. Like he can't quite do that sort of thing. He can't quite do large events. People are still not booking those things, but he's modified his business where on Fridays, I'm sure he has a line. Every time I've gone, he has a line of cars that are there ready to pick up his orders, right? He's modified his business to continue to thrive. And that's what, those are failures. I'm sure the first time he did it, he messed up, right? He couldn't take orders the right way, or he, couldn't have things prepared the right way. Whereas now I'm sure he has a system fine-tuned where you pull up and he's like, yep, this one's yours. Yep, this one's yours. Yep, this one's yours. And that's the thing that I feel schools is dropping the ball on, is we're not allowing kids to fail in a positive way, right? Failure is still a negative thing, but if we can make it so that we fail forward, so that we modify and adapt, so that we bring learning back to a fun place, I think these kids will thrive.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same thing that I went through with these first two meetings. They were crap. They were garbage. They were meetings for meeting's sake. But, it's easy to just turn around and look at it and say, you know what? That did not work. Just meeting for meeting's sake. I thought it was going to be an easy conversation to have, but nope. I got to adjust. I got to have my own agenda. I got to put things, I got to be a leader, right? And actually take charge and have these meetings with purpose.
Yeah. I'll give you another example of the same type of thing. We have our 5 a.m. club, the Justice League, right? Nope, not open yet. It's going to come soon. That's right.
It's coming.
Right.
It's coming
soon. And then we'll be out there again, fish tacoing it up.
Yeah.
It's like the 5 a.m. club with the Justice League, right? When I think we've gone maybe now like 8 weeks of 5 a.m. calls where we're on the call, Eric's on the call every day since he's the leader of the group, right? So he makes sure that the Zoom turns on and people get accepted in the room, and we haven't had any technical difficulties. He's on the call every single day, like eight weeks in, and he's doing it. He's cranking it out, right? But prior to that, those first 4 weeks, we had technical difficulty times, sleep in times, oops, I messed up and they didn't make it to the call times, right? Life. That, but again, we've been doing it for so long now. Now it's now it's here, and he's starting to plan out his week, right? We have our motivational Monday, time block Tuesdays, right? Like all these different things that are going on in our group. Reading Thursday because Thursday has an R in it, right? Or whatever it is. Fun Hat Friday, right? But he's starting to put together these things where every morning I look forward to that call because it kind of pushes me in a direction, like it's already aligning me for a positive day. Right. I know I don't look forward to waking up at 4:30 in the morning, but I do look forward to starting that call at 5 a.m. Like being on that call and listening to that stuff. And it's going to get better and better from there. I'm trying to actually get Eric to start a podcast because I think he's a funny ass dude. And like, he has
we had him on the show.
Ideas. Yeah. And he's got a lot of creative ideas. Like, dude, he's so. And just to steal a little bit of his thunder, he's like, yeah, dude, I thought about it. I was going to do this intro. And then he like drops down on the screen and you just see fire come out. And he's like, introducing today, like fire. Like, this is exactly why you should have a show, dude. Because you would do stuff like that. And it's funny. He's like, yeah, and I have my executive producer and he busts out like Gumby.
Too funny.
Like,
That's episode 274, by the way,
for Eric Gilman.
for Eric Gilman.
Yeah, dude, and like he's just a cool dude. I'm like, you would kill it, dude. People would actually like to pay attention to your show. I'll tell you another thing about Eric that's kind of funny and embarrassing for him at the same time. He posted something on a group the other day that he had taken a shower and he was walking through his living room butt naked, and like he sees out the window and he makes eye contact with his neighbor, and it's like, oh. It was like, oops. Like how do you start the conversation after
Definitely saw that.
that? Yeah.
Definitely saw that.
But it's those types of things that happen to him, and like he's one of those where he can take a story like that and bring it into your show, into your conversation, and it's memorable, it's fun, you laugh, and I'm like, this is exactly why you should have a podcast, right? Whether you do it once a week or whatever, you have the behind the mic skill, you have that comedic timing to come on the show and just like do your thing, right, and have some fun with it. So that's now I'm thinking about it. I had the 5 a.m. call, had the 9 a.m. call with the teachers, and then I did Marvelous Marketing, and then I did a call with Vinny's Vinny. What was his last name?
Are you talking about the Marvelous Marketing?
No. The other one is because I always know him as Vinny Sells Real Estate, but I forgot his last name. Vicente Enriquez, I think is the last name. He was on our podcast too, and he has a podcast called Road to Growth. And so I was on his show just right before this one, and same type of thing, talking about our history, talking about where we came from, and how the hell did we get to almost, dude? We're almost. This is episode.
That was episode
2.
Oh, my bad. 481. So that one, Vinny Enriquez was 236.
236. So
Yep.
we had Vinny on the show, 236. He now has his own podcast, which is super awesome that he's out there doing his thing, right? And he did it basically, from what I was gathering on the show, to help his team find better ways of doing different things, right? So ways he can teach his team to sell real estate and do that sort of stuff. But he continues to grow as a business person, and being able to be on his podcast after him coming on our podcast is super awesome. And he's asking questions like, like how do you, why keep going with your podcast? Like, what's your end goal? Like, how are you guys continuing to do this thing on a regular basis? Dude, we're on episode 481, dude. 481. We're almost
We're almost,
dude.
almost
1,000, dude. 500 episodes is
be
right
there by
around
the end of the month.
Dude, for sure, right? And for us, it has been one of the most transformational things in our business, transformational things in our personal development.
Yep.
As individuals, like this is something that I couldn't even put a monetary value on, because it has shaped that much of our life, and that's why we get so passionate about getting other people to have a show themselves, because it's huge. It's huge, right?
Yep. Vince Labrum, by the way. Vince Labrum, Marvelous Marketing. That was episode 338.
Man, dude. That's
so
crazy.
274, 234.
And look at that, dude. And we're in 480 something, dude. It's ridiculous. And I keep, I'll give you another cool thing. So Vidal, the Shark CFO, sent me a message today. He's like, hey man, do you know anybody who does credit repair? Right. And I was like, actually I do. So I pulled it up, and I don't remember what episode it was, but Frank Krikos, Credit Repair Solutions. Right. So I sent him his contact info, and I was like, yeah, here you go. And again, this is one of those awesome things that this podcasting space has allowed us to do. Like I literally 310. I literally have a contact for almost every single industry that you could possibly think of that has been on the show. And if you don't know who this person is, right, I can not only give you their contact information, we could link you to their episode. Hey, Ross, we could literally link you to their episode. You could listen to their story, see if you want to connect with them, and decide if you want to do business with them. That's the awesome part of being able to have a podcast, right? This is,
it's pretty great. You know what else is awesome about being able to do a podcast?
Yeah.
You get some insurance tips.
Boom, 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 boom. I need that one.
There you go. That. There's the one right there. All right. Well, today's Ham's insurance tip is all about your annual miles driven. So a lot of people may or may not know this. The amount that you drive is one of the biggest rating factors in your auto insurance. So if you are grandma and retired and you don't drive your car but to go to church and the grocery store, you're going to have really, really low miles and your insurance rate is going to be that much lower. But if you're basically the rest of us and you drive your car to work, or you're a real estate agent, you drive your car to go show houses and all this other stuff that you're doing, you're going to have a lot more annual miles and your rates are going to be that much higher. So a lot of our companies do this little thing called mileage verification programs. So Nationwide and Progressive, as an example, they give you this little chip. You plug that sucker into your car and it tracks your miles. It's all you really, most of the time, that's all it does is just track the miles. Sometimes it'll actually track your driving habits as well. But these mileage verification programs can give you discounts anywhere from 5 up to 20% sometimes off of your current insurance premiums. So ask your agent about these mileage verification programs. Make sure that they are applied so you can get the maximum discounts. That is Ham's Insurance Tip of the Day. Follow me on Twitter at InsuranceBroHam.
By the way, the insurance companies recently, because most of us didn't do very much driving over the past 2 months, have issued some of the refunds, and it's based on that type of statistic, right? They know that people have been not driving very much, and so based on your annual mileage, they knew the risk was lower, and they're returning the premiums. And then it's not huge chunks, but it's chunks enough that you get a rebate check in the mail.
15%.
That's for some policies that could be $150, dude. That's nice.
My last month I paid $7 for my insurance bill because they just gave it to me all like that. I was like, oh, okay, $7, cool,
nice.
Basically skipped a month. Yeah.
And that's what we're really looking for, right? Especially during the COVID times, a lot of people hurting.
Yep,
that's what they need, dude.
Cool.
I had a call today. See, I did have a busy day. I just didn't have a productive morning. So I had a call today with one of my former students. And he was telling me how he has been day trading, doing options trading.
You told me about this one, yeah.
And so he told me, he's like, Mr. Trias, you're not gonna believe this. He's all, when I scheduled the call with you, I was at $30,000. As of today, I'm close to $100,000.
Dude, the market went nuts over the past few days.
He was telling me, dude, I was like, I'm gonna put you in contact with my brother because he trades, and but he hasn't been as successful as you have. So maybe you can teach him a few pointers here and there too.
I would say it's probably the other way around.
And that's what I'm saying. He can teach you. That's what I'm saying. He can teach you.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's been doing a phenomenal job. So we were talking about what to do, and what I explained to him about the market, and this is my own personal opinion. I told him, treat the market like Vegas. Until you pull your money out and put it into another asset, you haven't won a thing yet, right? And so get in the habit of taking some of your profits out and putting them to work for you.
It's true.
And
you're playing with house money now.
You're playing with house money now, right? And so we talked about that, and we were talking about different time periods for real estate. So in class we had talked about the leverage part. We had talked about buying properties out of state that were paying for cash. So we had that little bit of discussion, and we talked a little bit about like if you buy $100,000 property, for example, make sure that it rents for at least $1,000, the 1% rule. We talked about different markets where we were buying properties and we were looking at. Talked a little bit about Ohio. We talked a little bit about Alabama. And then he asked me a question that I've been hearing quite a bit, which is, what if I wanted to buy here in San Diego? Should I wait till the end of the year? Is the market going to tank? Right. Mm-hmm. And so, I talk about this, and I make sure I preface this with everybody. I don't have a crystal ball, right? We do talk. I do talk to a lot of different real estate agents. I talk to a lot of different lenders. They're all always on our show. We have very much hypothetical conversations. We know that right now, for example, the real estate market is hot. If you're selling your property, now's the time to get to sell it. Right, get it out there. If you're buying a property, it is rates are super low. It's a great time to take advantage of those low rates and get some cheap money to buy the home. But I don't have a crystal ball. I can't time the market and tell you, at the end of the year, this year, we're going to see a downturn, or the beginning of next year, we're going to see a downturn. All I can tell you is what I'm seeing and how I'm reading that particular market trend, right? So here's what I am seeing. I know that we went from 22 million unemployed down to like 13 million unemployed, which is a huge drop because people are going back to work. 13 million unemployed still sucks. It's still a very horrible number. So it's not like everybody's going back to work. I know that last month, 2 million people didn't pay their mortgage payments. So I don't know how many beyond that haven't paid their lease payments. I know all those things are going to come to an end. I know on my personal, we applied for the same loan forbearance on our mortgages. I did it to figure out what the process was, but we've been paying our mortgages normally, like, as we normally would. However, I know there's a lot of people who haven't done it, and those forbearance periods are coming to an end. There were 3 months forbearance periods. Some of them were 6 months, some of them even up to a year, but the 3 month and the 6 month ones are coming up to an end. Once those come up to an end, I don't know if they're going to extend them out any longer, seeing as things are beginning to open up. So what's up, Bonnie? Unbreakable. I gotta always throw out the hashtag unbreakable. So with all that happening in the market, all these different changes, what I see happening personally is a lot of these homes that have skipped the mortgage payments, we're going to get into a position where they become no longer forbearance, they're going to become defaults. And once we start hitting the defaults, if people don't have their jobs back to work, once this unemployment thing kind of pans out and they're like, we're not paying the extra $600 a week anymore, and unemployment comes back to whatever it's going to be on a normal basis, we're going to start to see people go into not forbearance, but foreclosure. And when that starts to happen, you're going to see a drop in pricing over and over again. Now, that's what I see happening. I don't see it happening until probably maybe fourth quarter this year, probably more likely first quarter of next year. But even then, there's no guarantee that this is going to be one of those where, it's a huge drop like it was in 2008. I don't know for sure. It could be a quick little drop. It could be a long-term thing. I have no idea what's going to happen. We also have the election in November coming up. So there's a lot of stuff going on that kind of can put a question mark in things. But I'm just saying from here's the other thing. Inflation is ridiculous. We've just printed trillions of dollars that we pumped into the economy. So, you're taking a lot of different factors into play. And so my own personal opinion is that we're going to see it does definitely suck. We're going to see foreclosures and short sales and that sort of market stuff towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. So that being said, I'm talking to my student and I'm like, look, you can save money. You don't necessarily have to buy any property right now. You can put this money away. And if you can put that money away, it's June right now. If you continue to play these volatile markets and you're doing a good job in options trading and you're pulling that money outside, when you have $150,000, $200,000 that is ready to be invested in real estate when the market tanks, you can get into flipping properties. You can get into, syndications. And I told him, we can play this, and this is a long-term play. This is where you literally start playing Monopoly. You can start buying the small places right now. You can start buying a little, $70,000 home in Alabama, or, a $90,000 home in Ohio, wherever it is that you're buying your rental properties. And then we play Monopoly. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel.
Didn't we just have somebody on the other day who does 1031 exchanges?
Exactly where I was going with that. We can literally do, Dave Forster, right? We can literally do a 1031. 1040's taxes. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I get my numbers mixed up. 1031 tax exchange, right? Take those small properties, because you're going to get tired of managing, 5, 10, 15 little small properties. And we start buying an apartment complex, right? And we start buying, a commercial property, whatever it is that you want to do. But your portfolio starts to grow from there.
So go back and listen to episode 471 with Dave Foster and learn how to do 1031 exchanges.
1031 tax exchanges. And again, that's so I've had all these
conversations today.
Networks, right? And that's the conversation. That's what I've done all day today, is have those conversations. It's been
awesome.
It was not my most productive day because I didn't send out my email yet, which I'm going to do in a little while. I didn't create my piece of content because I didn't, those are my morning routines, and I didn't do my morning routines. But you know what? Tomorrow the sun will rise.
Tomorrow the sun will rise.
So we'll
That's
still
another
get
one
it
you
done.
need to find.
Yeah, right. Castaway.
I'm
So-
texting you right now.
Okay, good. So, but that's what's going to happen, right? So, tomorrow the sun will rise. I'll get back on the horse. I'll make sure I get those things squared away like I normally do, and then keep going with our stuff, right? That's the process for the day.
I love that, man. As consistent and disciplined as you are, you're still able to be easy on yourself and say, you know what? Fucked up. Tomorrow the sun will rise.
Tomorrow the sun will rise. And
You the man.
That's what consistency is, right? You might not be perfect. Perfect is the enemy of done, but you know what? We're going to get it done.
All right. Well, before we sign off, is there something special that you wanted to do for the month of June?
Yes. Good job.
Got you, bro. Got
This is
you.
why you're my co-host. So if you guys want to start a podcast, ladies and gents, I was like, what? Month of June? I said Liam's birthday yesterday or Friday. All right. So if you guys want to start podcasting, make sure you guys grab our ebook. It's a free full version of the ebook for June only. So all you got to go is visit our website, businessbros.biz/free-pop. Grab that ebook, start your podcast. You can literally start your own show, including video like you see us do. Not necessarily branded, but you can do video, you can do audio, you could publish to Spotify, iTunes, all those different places, costing you a whole $0. You can do that. And if you want to add nice little flavor and flab, have an intro, brand your stuff, I can help you do that. It is going to be a little bit of a monetary investment, but you can get that done. Start off with at least creating content. Put yourself in front of your customers, in front of your clients, in front of anybody who wants to take advantage of your product or services, but none of that's going to happen until you start developing content yourself. Podcasting is just, I believe, the easiest way to do that. So make sure you guys go to businessbros.biz/free-pop, develop your own podcast, your own prospecting, your own network. Take advantage. Now's the time.
Whoop, whoop.
That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you looking to get more clients or to increase your income? Hernan, the business bro, can help you generate referrals through the power of podcasting. And James, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, can help you effectively add insurance to your existing business. If you are ready to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, email businessbros@csfirst.com to schedule a free consultation or join the Business Bros Network, www.businessbros.biz.